Welcome to this free immigration help channel. Today is October 9, 2023, and in this video we are yet again talking about the Visa Bulletin, since there is a brand new November 2023 Visa Bulletin that is out. Now, if you have watched my previous Visa Bulletin video for October 2023, I'm not gonna waste your time. There isn't really much that changed for November 2023, unfortunately. Unless you are in Mexico chargeability area, then there are some updates. But if you are not, then there's really no need for you to watch this video. I didn't create this channel, to waste people's time. I created this channel for, to be helpful to people. But if this is the very first video that you're watching from me, especially on the Visa Bulletin, in this video I will briefly explain what the Visa Bulletin is, what the family preference categories that are, pertaining to the Visa Bulletin are, and how to read it. Briefly, I do have the instructional video if you want to learn a little bit in depth, but in this video I will go over this briefly. So I have October right here, I have November right here. Once we will talk about the comparison, I will scroll down on the same level and I will highlight each date so that you can see. But to basically give you a brief introduction to the Visa Bulletin, if you are dealing with the family reunification case and you're in one of the 4 family preference categories, if you're not in immediate relative category but any of the 4 family preference categories, then it is extremely important for you to stay on top of the Visa Bulletin and keep checking it every single month. Now, every single month there's a brand new Visa Bulletin that comes out. So, what are the 4 family preference categories out there? There's F1, unmarried sons and daughters of US citizens, over 21 that is. There's a second family preference category which is broken down into F2A and F2B. F2A being spouses and children under 21, obviously children, whenever we are talking about children, we're talking about under 21, of permanent residents, and also F2B, unmarried sons and daughters, 21 years of age or older. There's third preference category, which is married sons and daughters, or which are married sons and daughters of US citizens, and there is a F4, brothers and sisters of adult US citizens. Alright, so that makes sense. Now, talking about 2 graphs, you will find 2 graphs, Graph A, final action dates, and Graph B, dates for filing, on each Visa Bulletin that is released each month. Now, if you want to know the full length of before the availability of the immigrant visa, from the very moment the initial I-130 is accepted by USCIS to the availability of the immigrant visa, then you are looking at the Graph A, final action dates, which literally that's what they are talking about. Whenever the final action date, whenever the final action was taken on the case, meaning that the immigrant visa became available. Now, the Graph B is dates for filing. That is whenever the NVC portal is opening up. And NVC portal, if you are not familiar with it, in the middle of the process, you are dealing with the NVC. You have to become documentarily qualified with NVC. Whenever you are dealing with one of the 4 family preference categories, a lot of times you do have to wait quite a long time, and you do get your case approved by USCIS, it is transferred to the NVC, and then you're just waiting for the portal to open up so that you can start your documentary qualification process. Graph B shows us when that NVC portal will be opening up. Okay, now to look at any of the graphs to kind of understand the reading of the graph, you will find all chargeability areas. There is China chargeability area, India, Mexico, and Philippines. So there is technically 5 different chargeability areas, 1 separate for China, separate for India, separate from Mexico, for Philippines, and then everybody else, the rest of the world. So most people will be looking at this column right here for all chargeability for the rest of the world. Obviously the corresponding family preference category, and then right here the dates that are shown are the priority dates that are becoming current as of right now. In this case, this is November 2023. So now that you understand briefly how to read the Visa Bulletin, again, if you want to go into more details, check out the video that I've done specifically on how to read Visa Bulletin the easiest way. That's what the video is called. If you do have any questions along the way, just post them in the comments below and I will be happy to address them. But now that you do have the basic understanding, this is November 2023. I'm gonna scroll it down to right here, and then I'll open the October 2023 and I'll scroll it down to same. There you go. So I'm gonna highlight the F1 category, which is unmarried sons and daughters over 21 of US citizens. This is October 2023, and as you can see, between October and November there is no movement. There is no movement for all chargeability area, no movement for China, no movement for India. But then when we get to Mexico, there is actually a movement from April to May. So from 22nd April to the 1st May, which is not the whole month, because April, May, but it was on 22nd April. So it's like 8-9 days movement in the whole month, which honestly is still better than nothing compared to all the other chargeability areas. But you would expect, typically, normally you would expect a month of movement in a month of 1 month passes for the Visa Bulletin, 1 month movement. That's okay. If there is a more movement than a month, obviously that's good news. If there's no movement or retrogression in some cases, that's definitely not the good news. And then Philippines, nothing, no changes for the Philippines. Moving further to the F2A, I'm gonna highlight this right here, again on October 2023 Visa Bulletin. Looking at November now, I'm gonna highlight this as well right here. There you go. So October, no movement for all chargeability F2A, no movement for China, no movement for India, for Mexico, no movement, and no movement for Philippines. So F2A, no movement whatsoever. I'm gonna highlight F2B on October and F2B for November. September 2015, all chargeability area, China September 2015, India September, Mexico. We got a little bit of the movement, looks like from January 1st to May 1st. Now that's a really good movement because it is, let's see, we got January, February, so January, February, March, April, May. So about 5-month movement for Mexico in F2B. So that's really good. That's really good. And Philippines, nothing at all. Okay, so moving further to the F3, I'm gonna highlight this. And let's see, there we go. So again, October, nothing for all chargeability, nothing for China, nothing for India, nothing at all for Mexico, and nothing for Philippines. And then the same goes for F4. Looks like there is oh no, actually there is a movement for Mexico as well on F4. So I'm gonna highlight this right here. And I'm gonna highlight this right here because that's where we see the movement. So we got the movement from, let's see, August 2000 to September 2000, September 15. So not a lot, but a month and a half. Definitely positive movement, so that's good. And then graph B, if we briefly look at it, I'm gonna click between the two, and there is absolutely no changes on the graph B whatsoever, unfortunately, which means that people that are waiting for their NDC portal to open up so that they can start their documentary qualification process, unfortunately they will still be waiting because there is absolutely no movement for November 2023. So overall, unfortunately, with this video I can't say that there's good news except for F2B if you're from Mexico chargeability area. But honestly, in all honesty, just looking at the Mexico chargeability area, they do wait a very, very long time whenever it comes to Mexico chargeability area. So even the 6 months movement, you see the priority date here is from 2002, so it's a very long time to wait. So thank you for watching. Hopefully this video was helpful. Like I said, if you do have any questions, just drop them in the comments below. I do do some Q&A videos on this channel, so I will be able to address your questions in the later volumes. So thank you very much for watching. God bless, and I'll see you all in the next video.